it was part of a piece of research that was conducted in part by Erica Chenoweth, who is a professor and researcher in this area. They had been looking at resistance around the world and what it looks like, what in some research basically on whether or not militarized interventions or civil disobedience works best. And the research that she conducted shows that actually it is a combination of, civil resistance and democracy that works the best, and that military interventions have less effectiveness, and specifically less effectiveness when it comes to ultimately bringing on democracy, which is kind of like the point of us doing all this, right? Like, we don't really want to have this big resistance only to have like a different kind of dictator take over, right? Okay. So if we want to have a democracy, then we have to rely on civil resistance. Now, here's part of this. Civil resistance does not include rallies. I know a lot of people are citing that 3% or whatever thing, and they're thinking that it's like rallies and people showing up, but that's actually not what the research shows. That is just a kind of a component and almost in the regular part of democracy, which includes voting and, understanding and getting involved in your city councils, county commissions, showing up to meetings, things like that. That is actually a basic part of what we need to do, a basic part of our freedom of speech. That's why it was codified in our First Amendment rights, the freedom of redress, the freedom of assembly, because it is a basic part of democracy. So that's one of the things I want people to understand, is that like the showing up in the rally part, that's not the actual resistance that we need. Okay. That's part of what we need. It's part of the basics of what we need. But what we also need is people to do the other work. Part of that includes education, and we've seen rollbacks in the state of Florida